we are going to get started. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's going to be a beautiful day to spend time together learning all about the secrets and of intuitive Reiki and how Reiki as a modality can help you to connect into high-level guidance and be able to access wisdom that can help you on your journey. So today you're going to learn if Reiki is right for you. You're going to understand how Reiki awakens your intuition. I'm going to teach you my top 5 secrets to health and happiness, and I'm going to guide you each step on the way. So just as we get going, make sure you turn all distractions off. I'm just going to check. Can you let me know if you can hear me, if the sound is working correctly? We had a bit of a glitch. So just in the chat box, let me know if you can hear me. Okay, and then I will continue on. All right, looks like we're getting a few more people joining. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining me today. I tell you what, it is hot here in Perth. We've got a heat wave and it's 43 degrees. So I don't know if we've gotten there yet. It's 10 o'clock, so thank goodness for air conditioning. Let me know whereabouts in the chat box you are joining from. Awesome. Now you're talking to me. I feel more comfortable. It was very quiet there for a minute. All right, sound is fine. Awesome. Yes, it is. You're in Perth too, Zila. Janice, Perth. Excellent. All right, ready for some fun today, guys? Give me a little thumbs up or an emoji, and we're going to make this session as fun as we can, and hopefully you guys will come away with lots of new techniques that you can apply straight away. All right, so distractions are off. Yes, they are. Okay, so let's get moving. All right, I'm going to be turning my camera on and off so that I can get you to focus where I want you to focus. So we're going to begin with a little meditation exercise that we're going to do together. So I'm just going to turn my video off. Okay, just to bring us all into connection. And as the screen says, stay with me until the end. There is a special bonus that you will not want to miss. All right, the first technique I'm going to show you is how you can quickly change your state. We're going to be doing a mindfulness exercise. So let's get started. You're going to need a notebook. So if you can, I'm going to give you a few moments now to run and grab yourself a piece of paper and a pen. And you can do this exercise along with us. Or if you don't have a pen and paper handy, I'm going to grab mine now. What I'd like you to do is use the chat feature. So I want you to write your answers in the chat, and we'll do this together as a group. Okay, so the first thing I want you to write down is 5 things that you can see. So take a look around your room, wherever you are right now, and write down 5 things that you can see. If you've got it, don't have paper, just pop it in the chat box. Okay, let's see what you guys wrote in the chat. I think there's a little bit of a lag. Okay, and I'll start with mine. So my 5 things were my computer, obviously, because I'm looking at my computer. The PowerPoint presentation, I'm looking at that. The crystal, I have a beautiful Lemurian quartz crystal that's right in front of me. I've got my glass of water. I'm going to have a drink right now. And the last thing is the light. I'm looking at the light right in front of me. So how are you going, guys? Are you doing the exercise with me? Just pop in the chat box your 5 things that you can see. Fans, dresses, briefcase, dresses, shoes. Perfect. Thanks, Jackie. Anyone else? Let's do this exercise together and get connected. Okay, so the next thing, for those of you that are reading ahead, you're going to be doing 4 things that you can hear. This one gets a little bit trickier. So Zila's got keyboard, tea, pen, notebook, screen. Perfect. Okay, so write down 4 things that you can hear. And we'll do this together. Okay, when you've got your 4 things, I want you to write them in the chat box. Me, plane, fan, insects. Awesome. All right, this one I got computer. My computer's buzzing. I could hear me clearing my throat. The pen writing on the paper. Okay, and it really brings us into this present moment so we can start to feel cars, wind, keyboard, computer. It's really about grounding our energy and getting connected to the here and now. Okay, the next thing I want you to do is find 3 things that you can feel. And then pop them in the chat box when you've got 3 things that you can feel. Okay, so for me, I can feel the paper on my leg. I could feel the heat in my body. I'm the same as you, Zila. I could feel the heat. And I can feel the Reiki now as I'm starting to run the energy on my body. All right, so next, as you can guess, we're moving to what's 2 things that you can smell. So for me, I can smell the essential oil that I'm just putting on the palm of my hand. And I've got a candle in my room as well, so I can smell the candle. What else can you guys smell? Fan, towel, come and heat. Yeah. Tea, candle. Good, you guys are definitely getting the hang of it. Okay, the last thing is a little bit trickier. So this last one, oh, your perfume, beautiful. Deodorant, yeah. And now coming back to one thing that you can taste. What's one thing that you can taste? So this is really activating all of your senses. Tea. I can taste the tea. I just had peppermint tea as well, so I can taste that. Rain. I'm guessing you're feeling the rain, Jackie. Tasting the rain. Are you drinking rain water perhaps? Okay, so the aim of that exercise was just to bring you into this present moment. So everything that you'll learn through the Reiki system, but also from many spiritual teachers, we spend so much of our time in our thoughts and disconnected from the presence, from the present moment. I'm glad you said that. It was water. Yeah, rainwater. Beautiful. So this is a simple technique that if you're feeling anxious or stressed, if you do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique, it just centers and grounds you and really quickly brings you back into your body and connects you with yourself and all of your senses. So I like this as a way to, whenever I'm feeling a bit nervous, it's just a way to incorporate energy and get really settled in the moment. So I also like to pair it with a breathing technique. So there's box breathing that you could do, which is, and we'll all do it together, which is breathing in, holding for a moment, breathing up again, And then you hold as you're imagining your hand going out at the top of a box, a square, and then releasing the air out of your body, and then holding for a moment. And I'm going to do this on screen so that you can see what I'm doing. If you do 3 deep breaths so that you can see what I do with box breathing is I actually have my hand here and I go in and in again, hold, and then bring the hand down as you release, controlling your out breath. And then hold again as you bring your hand in. So this is called a box breathing technique. So we'll do it again together. Holding, breathing out, and holding. And now just allow your body, your shoulders to drop. Just allow your body to relax and really settle into this moment. So I want to begin by saying thank you for joining me today. Let's get started. Okay, so the reason that you are here today is that because you're interested in your spiritual aspect and you want to further develop your spiritual side. Put number 1 in the comments box. If you're here because you want to deep dive into your own personal self-healing, and you've got things going on that you want to work on improving your self-healing, or if you're here because you want to help others and you are naturally someone that others come to often and ask your advice, and you just feel better when you can uplift and inspire someone else. So just to give you those 3 options again, we've got option number 1, spiritual growth or community. Option 2 is self-discovery and clarity. Or 3, you want to become a professional healer. And perhaps it's all 3. So I'm just going to check the chat and find out. Others and self. Okay, all 3. Zila, beautiful. Okay, 1 and 3, spiritual growth, community, become a professional healer. Excellent, Jessica. 2, self-healing, self-discovery. Alison, 2 and 3, become a healer. Anne-Marie, self-discovery and clarity. Yes, clarity is so important when we are wanting to make decisions in our life. All 3 really awesome. Okay, so that lets me know that you are in the right place and you're going to enjoy this masterclass. So a little bit about me, for those of you that don't know who I am. I'm the first global intuitive Reiki master. I founded a company called Intuitive Reiki International. Over the past 2 decades, I have trained thousands of students in the Reiki modality, but with a twist. What I've done is worked with spirit, and through my connection and communication with spirit, and through teaching groups of people in person over the years, I've developed a foundational program that not only teaches you how to run beautiful, nurturing, healing energy, which is honouring the traditional system and the way in which Reiki has been passed down generationally and traditionally, it is also infused with what I call more the Eastern side of Reiki. So it's incorporating Reiki as an enlightenment system, as a way of embodying mind, body and spirit, tapping into our spiritual essence. And then for those that want to further develop it, it's also learning how to connect with your intuition and how to use that intuition in order to help others. I'm also a clinical hypnotherapist, a best-selling author. I've just had my book that I've just released become a #1 best-selling author, and I'm also a clinical hypnotherapist and a spiritual medium and speaker. So that's just a little bit about me. This image on the left, as you can see, at the very core of my business is a desire to bring more love into the world, not only for myself, but also to inspire others to connect with that unconditional love that is what I recognize as Reiki, or the way of Reiki, but also as source energy or spirit or our higher self. We have a lot of names that we call that aspect of love. Through my system of healing, you learn energy, you learn how to tap into the truth, your universal truth, and the universal truth, but also your own truth. And then you learn how to channel and connect into that power so that you can make a greater difference on this or in this world. Okay, so this is my beautiful centre, and this was one of the classes. Before COVID, I taught all my workshops in person, and now since COVID came along, I innovated my business and started teaching Reiki in a totally new way. And working with my guide, she gave me instructions as to how to move what was an in-person workshop into an online training course. So now I want to tell you a little bit about, I'll share with you a story. This is my gorgeous daughter, Hannah. I'm just going to stop sharing for a moment and talk to you guys. So one of, I'm sure you guys can relate to having moments in your life that change you fundamentally. So there was a situation when my beautiful daughter was younger where we were on holidays in Sydney. And to give you some context, I used to work at Starlight Children's Foundation. And so I had been around, I used to visit all the kids on the wards, and I was purely in an entertaining role in that my job was to brighten the lives of seriously ill children. And one of the most difficult wards for me to visit was the burns wards, just because there was a lot of pain involved with the children, and I used to go and entertain them and kind of distract them when they were getting dressings changed. And so I had quite a lot of context around experiencing burns just vicariously, as I had visited the wards quite a lot. So my little Hannah was 18 months old at the time, and she was no longer breastfeeding. So I basically had her bottle. And what I did is we were on a remote property in Sydney, and there was no running water. There was only a dam. And so the only way there was no microwaves. It was totally off the grid, no power, no electricity. So the only way I could heat her bottle was to boil water and then put her bottle inside this metal container that I had. And as I did that, we were waiting for the milk to heat up, and I pushed it back off of away. It was certainly not on the edge of the table. Or I thought I'd pushed it far enough away. But as it turns out, Hannah got up on her tippy toes and reached for the milk and poured the boiling water down on herself. And it was the most horrific experience because the screams were just a sound no mother ever wants to hear. And straight away, I just wanted to pick her up and run her into a shower because I knew that I'd seen or heard that had happened before, that the quickest the first thing we need to do is get water onto their body as quick as possible. But there was no shower because it was on dam water. So as I was undressing Hannah to try and locate where the water had gone, because we didn't know initially where it had gone, her arm was red from the top of her shoulder down to her little hand. So I knew straight away that the arm was the problem. We had my auntie was right there. Gerald's auntie was right there, and they soaked towels and tea towels with bottled water because they had that available. And so while we were getting that, they wrapped the towels around her arm, basically got in the car and drove to the hospital, which was luckily for us only a few minutes down the road. So we get into the hospital. Now, you got to remember, this is Hannah's now nearly 16. So we're going back, 14 years ago. And this was before we had Google on our phones and we had, access to information. So it probably wouldn't happen now, but we're going back into some of my Reiki beginnings. So when we got to the hospital, the doctor took off the wet towels that we'd put on, and he basically used iced water, and he had towels with iced water, so they were freezing cold, and he basically started to wrap the iced towels around the burn. And I remember feeling this sense of Hannah hadn't stopped crying. She was still really traumatized by what was going on, and I think because she was so young, didn't understand, and it's stinging, she just kept trying to pull at the wet towels, which is what she was doing with the room temperature water that I'd put on. And then as they put the really cold towels on, she was doing it even more. So that kind of movement hadn't changed. But I intuitively knew, I had this thought that I didn't think we iced burns anymore. Like, I'm pretty sure it makes it worse. So I had this intuitive and this gut feeling, like, when you just get that your stomach tenses and you just know something's not right. And I said to the nurse, you know, I didn't think we ice burns anymore. And she looks really uncomfortable. And she just said to me, look, that's what the doctor does. And he's been to uni. He knows what he's doing. We've just got to follow the doctor's orders. And I'm like, okay. And yet, even though she'd said that, my mind wasn't put at ease. And even a few minutes after, there was another boy that had burnt his thumb, and he basically tipped his whole hand in a jug of water with ice in it. So he clearly didn't understand that it wasn't best practice. But even so, I had this feeling that I just suppressed and ignored because I didn't have the courage to speak up, but I didn't trust myself. I didn't know that the feelings and the intuition I was getting was actually telling me that what was happening wasn't right for Hannah. So at that point, I thought I was doing the right thing. The doctor knew what he was doing and I trusted him. And so then we get transferred to the city hospital because we were in a country town, into the main children's hospital. And the doctor there, when we saw him the next day, started going through, you know, what we had done and how we had treated her at home. And he said, you know, you wouldn't believe the things that people do with burns. There's so many old wives' tales out there where they put butter on it and all these kinds of terrible things. And I asked him the question, I said, you know, is it normal practice to ice the burn? And his little face dropped, and I knew in that moment. And he goes, no, we haven't iced burns for years. And I just had this guilt wash over me because he said to me that when I told him what had happened, then he said, okay, that's not okay. We'll make sure that we re-educate that doctor and send him new updated information on how to treat burns. So at least I knew that it wasn't going to happen to anyone else. But that feeling of sorrow that I felt was just that I'd done something that had hurt my daughter, and I made a vow on that night that I would do everything in my power to understand what intuition is. What was that feeling that I had that I ignored and suppressed, and also to develop how to not only trust my intuition, but how to have the courage to take action, especially when my children are involved, but especially when I know what is coming through intuitively is coming from a good place. So I vowed on that day that I would make a difference teaching people how to trust their intuition. So it really became the foundation of how I teach Reiki, and everything that I've learned over the years has been to really understand that there's so much more information and access that we have on an individual level that is empowering, that helps people to know what's on their path, know what's right for them, but also to advocate for themselves. So let me know in the comments if you have children, if you can relate to that feeling of just that helplessness. And there is one other thing that I didn't mention, but when Hannah was when Hannah was in hospital with me and I was sitting on the hospital bed, one of the things that my Reiki master taught me is that when Reiki first comes through as an energy, what it does is we become channels for Reiki, which is universal life force energy. The energy flows through us and then it overflows to the person that you're healing. So I had Hannah in my arms, and I just literally put my hand over her heart. I'd loosened the towel off a little bit, but still thought at that point it was the right thing to do. And as I was running energy, I noticed the first thing was that there was this wave of comfort and love and calm that washed over me, which I now know is the energy of Reiki. And then instantly Hannah stopped crying and settled down. And so I just kept running energy to her, just literally by putting my hand on her little heart. And as the days progressed, she ended up with two second-degree burn scars on her upper arm, which are about the size of a 50-cent piece, and two on her forearm, which were a little bit smaller, but they were pretty bad scars. And the hospital gave us cream, like a lanolin cream, to massage and help break up the scar tissue. And I would put the cream in the palm of my hand, I would fill it with Reiki energy, and then I would rub Reiki cream, and I even called it. So I'd be rubbing the Reiki cream in and giving her Reiki every night to help with her progression and her healing. So it's one way that Reiki has had a profound effect, not only in helping me when I feel like I'm out of, as a mother, just when someone's sick that we love, or we just feel like there's nothing that we can do to support them, then we know that we've always got Reiki, and all you need is your hands. and it makes a big difference in how people relax, especially when trauma's involved. Hannah also, when she was 15, had an appendix rupture, and so we rushed her to hospital. So again, Reiki was helpful in those moments when she was in extreme pain. So it's times when you just feel helpless. I absolutely believe in, balancing Reiki with medicine, and medicine is wonderful and necessary at times, but they sometimes focus on the physical body and forget about, the holistic, looking at the body as a holistic way. So just checking if you guys can relate. You've got 4 children, Zila, had to battle with healthcare professionals for years. Your eldest had rare chronic conditions since birth. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. ASD, yes, my daughter has autism and ADHD and didn't get diagnosed until she was 15 because she's high functioning and it shows up so differently in girls. She just kept slipping under the radar again. We had to work a lot intuitively with Georgia in order to manage how things were different. Her needs were very different to what I saw with other children and certainly with my other child. So naturally, Reiki and the system that I'm going to talk to you about gives you a premise that helps you to come back into the present moment and deal with what's going on, and also address anger and worry. So I'm sorry to hear that, Zila. That can be very frustrating when people just don't understand you, and it just goes to show how important that intuition is, because we know as mothers we have this natural instinct, and even if you're not a mother, it's still there. We are all intuitive. We just haven't been taught how to access it and trust it, and especially because in school it's all been kind of conditioned out of us because we were taught to do as we were told and not to follow our own inner state of being. So as adults, we need to kind of relearn how to hear that quiet whisper of our intuition, but also how to act upon it. So Janice, your 2 children, oldest has ADHD. Yeah, it can be challenging at times, can't it? All right, so I'm going to give you some good news. I'll show you Hannah now, just so that I don't leave you feeling distraught for my gorgeous little girl. She made a very quick recovery. I didn't have any photos of her burns because back then I just didn't want to take pictures of her wounds. But here she was as a little 18-month-old, and she was a little cutie. They bounce back pretty quickly, children. So once the main trauma was over, even though the trauma stayed with me a little bit longer, she certainly bounced back. She's a little cutie. And this is her now. Her and her dad just went on a trip of a lifetime last year to Nepal. So they basically hiked up a mountain. So this is my husband, Gerald, and my daughter, Georgia. She's 18 now. And they're Reiki babies. They were given Reiki when I learned Reiki long before I met my husband and also before I had my children. So can you imagine what it would feel like to be plugged into a constant stream of positive energy, pure positive energy? Because becoming a Reiki channel will give you access to a powerful, benevolent, healing energy that allows you to heal yourself and help others, all the while you get to make a positive difference in the world. So if that's something that inspires you and that you know that there's more to this physical experience, then you know you're in the right place. I often feel like when I first learned Reiki, it was almost like someone took the blinders off. Well, they gave me this key to unlock a door to this incredible way and perspective of looking at the world. And I almost kind of wondered, I was really lucky in that I was in my early 20s when I learned Reiki. So it just gifts you with so many beautiful experiences. And I'm going to give you some of the hints too today. Yeah, you can understand ADHD. With my daughter, I'll tell you quickly, but with Georgia, a lot of the reason she went undiagnosed was because when I followed the Reiki principles, because I live what I teach, what they taught me to do was not to have expectations on Georgia. I basically naturally adapted to her needs. So when I would say to her, okay, clean your room, she'd look at me with this blank stare and not know how to do it. And then I naturally started to work out that she needed short instructions, like put your shoes in your wardrobe, take your clothes off the floor, put them in your basket, and clean your desk. When I gave her short instructions, which Reiki taught me how to focus on what's going on in the present, and then how to go within when I felt anger because I didn't want to look at what was going on within me that was causing my anger, instead of just blaming Georgia for perhaps not living up to my expectations on what I think a child should be able to do at a certain age, especially when she was younger. So when I met with a psychologist years later at 15 and we tracked back over her life, she said to me, you've done really well adapting to her needs naturally. And I think it's because, I know it's because I practice Reiki, and it taught me how to look at what is, instead of trying to, mold her to fit something she couldn't. So a little bit of the journey today, just so that you know exactly where we're going. So I'm going to be sharing with you the top 5 Reiki benefits, and also step 6 will be how you can work with me. So Reiki 1 and intuition, I'll be letting you know exactly what Reiki is. We're going to look at the power of touch and connection, and how Reiki allows us to access healing through the power of touch. We're going to understand the heart of Reiki, which is the Reiki principles. You're going to meet science, meet spirituality. I'm going to give you a bit of the science behind how Reiki works, and the power of support, and knowing that people, that there is a huge community that can support you on this journey. Okay, so what is Reiki? It's a spiritual healing practice that unlocks the secret to happiness and the secret to medicine. So Mikao Usui, who developed the Reiki system of healing, the traditional Reiki system of healing, he's no longer with us, but the system of Reiki goes back over 100 years. It teaches us how to balance the mind, the body, and spirit. So through applying Reiki to yourself and also giving others Reiki, it gives us an insight through the intuitive aspect of Reiki as to the cause of dis-ease or illness, and also brings us back into balance if we're out of balance. So what is intuitive Reiki, you might be wondering? So what's the difference between normal Reiki and the Reiki that I teach and practice? Well, the difference is that you access everything that you do traditionally, but with an openness to spirit, to working with angels, guidance, and understanding that from that basis of tuning into the person that you're giving Reiki to, spirit comes through with insights and understandings, and at times the most incredibly beautiful messages that seems a shame to not pass on if the client is open to receiving messages throughout their session. So I always ask clients permission. I teach my students to do the same. And if they're open to receiving messages, then we can pass them on with the love that they were intended as we receive them. And Reiki creates this beautiful platform. So when you start running energy, so the energy starts to flow through you. Reiki is universal life force energy. It's naturally healing. It's a natural energy modality that has no known contraindications. So it's gentle, nurturing, yet powerful. It works on the mental, the emotional, and the physical level. So once you start running the energy and connecting the energy through the body of the person, it's flowing through you, overflowing to them. You start to create this, we enter into the way of Reiki. So as I started at the beginning of the session, we got you into mindfulness, which was being present. Reiki slows us down. It gets us into the present moment, and it connects you with your client in a deeply personal and profound way. And it's hard to explain. We don't know how it happens, because we understand the how as in how to do it and what the process is, absolutely. But there's still this aspect that remains a sacred spiritual mystery. It just works. And people will come in as complete strangers, and within instance of running, within a few minutes of running Reiki, there's like an openness and a sharing. And I feel it's because people that I work with and that my students work with, they feel loved and they feel like they're in a non-judgmental space. And when people feel nurtured, like they're not being judged, they tend to then feel safe enough to open up and share and express. And I absolutely believe that people have within them the solutions that they're looking for. They just sometimes need gentle guidance and confirmation at times to know that they're on the right path. So think of it like a reading and a Reiki session at the same time. It becomes an active, beautiful experience for those that are open to experiencing intuitive Reiki in this way. And it also empowers my students to pass on the beautiful messages that come through, which are loving, nurturing, kind, and uplifting. That's what a Reiki session feels like when you're tapped into that, understanding how to receive that message and that guidance as you're working with Reiki. So on a self-healing level, it is an intuition that you access that is like a guiding compass that leads us on a healing journey that's both deeply personal and profoundly transformative. I've had clients that have changed their life after learning Reiki. I've had people that, there was one student that I had that had had a car accident and in a moment had lost everything. She was a executive, couldn't work anymore. And she'd basically given up all hope. And she said to me after she'd done the whole system of Reiki and did mentoring with me that she was suicidal, and I didn't know that at the time. But she said it gave her hope back and it gave her a focus so that she could live life in a totally different way rather than feeling like she'd lost everything that meant something really important to her. So the transformations are amazing. And we get to not only bear witness to that, but we get to participate with our clients as we go through the journey. So Reiki attunes us to the universal life force energy that surrounds us and flows through every living being. Your intuition is that inner voice that gently guides you during a session. And I'm going to get you to hear from Sarah right now. She's going to share her experience with you. If I can get the video to play. Here we go.
So with Lisa, I actually rang her and said, I don't know why, I need to connect with you and I want you to do your mentorship with me. And she was like, I don't do that. And I said, well, yeah, we're going to do it. I have not met someone like Lisa before. She's still the business and she's still passionate about her Reiki, and the fact that she can combine those into two, I haven't seen that before. So not only can she work with spirit, but she has the ability to show us that she can help organisations and businesses on those levels too. So that's something most people haven't seen before. So I think that's really good. Biggest impact is to be grounded and to be human and to feel loved. Like I work with spirit and kind of live in the spiritual realm and always there to help others, and she really showed me what love felt like and to accept it. So and it's just allowed me to go home and be the mum that I need to be and love my children the way I wanted to love them. So you have to be taught by Lisa to understand that. She really demonstrates that, and I think, and that's what helps people believe in themselves and open up to their own spiritual journey too. So they can take that at any level, and I think that's super important because there's so many expectations and belief systems. She brings that back to reality and helps you go to whatever your belief system is and what's right for the person. So with
that's beautiful, Sarah, there. I loved especially when she said it just allowed her to connect more with her children as well as tapping into that love for herself. Okay, secret number 2 is a 20-second hug. Did you know that it releases a bonding hormone and neurotransmitter oxytocin, which is a natural antidepressant? So we know through the study of Kangaroo Care, they've done skin-to-skin tests or studies where we absolutely understand that babies will grow faster when they are touched and they're bonded on the mother's chest and they're wrapped so you can see the mother just having skin-to-skin contact. They'll grow and thrive as opposed to those babies that are just in incubators without the human touch. They actually need that connection that comes through just touching. It's also a part of the Reiki practice that's been shown to activate pain relieving mechanisms in the body because, of course, the body has an immune system and it is geared towards health. And so Reiki enhances that because it puts us into a natural healing and resting state, which gives the body opportunity to move into a different state of action within the systems of the body in order to fast track the healing. And the gentle touch of Reiki has the potential to bring about deep and lasting benefits. And it's a really great way of explaining Reiki to people that might not understand it or think it's a bit woo-woo, or because it can't be measured. A lot of scientists, even though Reiki is used throughout hospitals around the world, we know anecdotally there's evidence that it works and that it speeds healing time, but we understand it's because people are given an opportunity to be heard, to be listened to feel loved, nurtured and supported. There was a nurse that worked in surgery, and she was actually an assistant working with a surgeon, and I don't know what I just did to the computer then. That's better. He asked what Reiki was and was trying to understand exactly how it works and what it was, and he thought it was all a bit, a bit of quackery, is his words. And she said to him, well, if you've got a family member that's in pain or distraught or emotionally upset, would it be unusual for you to give that family member a hug? And he's like, well, no, of course not. And she said, well, think of Reiki like giving someone a hug, without hugging them. So it's that touch that is very powerful. So this is one of my other students, Amber. I wanted to give you an understanding of how Reiki's worked with other people so you can see whether it feels right for you. Amber had severe fibromyalgia. When I first met her, she felt like life was a never-ending chore. She was very unhappy. Not only did she battle with anxiety and depression, she was dealing with physical pain every day. And she didn't expect it, but in her own words, after learning Reiki with Lisa, my fibromyalgia symptoms all but miraculously disappeared. I couldn't have imagined that was even possible, and I certainly didn't expect it. Amber quickly became a devoted student, and as a result, she was able to love herself again. She stopped feeling anxious and self-critical and was able to truly forgive those who had hurt her, leading to a massive transformation. And in her words again, my world became lighter, brighter, and I felt joy and hope again. Learning Reiki changed my life. Through Lisa and Lisa's guidance, I returned home to me, which I'm forever grateful. And as you can see here, this is taken off her Facebook page. She is a Reiki master, has been for 7 years now, and has a thriving business teaching others how to do Reiki as well. So she represents one of many students that have gone on to become teachers themselves. So the heart of Reiki, so this is the foundation, and the core of Reiki are the Reiki principles. So as you see here, the Reiki principles teach that just for today, I will not worry, I will be grateful, I'll be kind to every living thing, I will do my work honestly, and I will not be angry. So we deep dive into the foundational principles, and when you understand that with these principles, there's the antidote to anger and worry in the principles. So just have a look at those 5 principles there. So I'm going to repeat them again. So I will not worry and I will not anger. So we know they're the problems that we have. Okay, there's 3 solutions here. There's I will be grateful, I'll do my work honestly, and I'll be kind to every living thing. Which one of those 3 do you think is the antidote to anger and worry? Just pop in the chat box which one you think is the antidote, which takes you out of that vibration of the worry or the anger. Do you think it's gratitude? Do you think it's being kind? Or do you think it's doing your work honestly? Just pop it in the chat box. Now I can see whether you guys are multitasking or whether you're actually here with me. Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, you'll have to come and do the training to get the answer. I'm not going to give it to you if you're not here paying attention. Being kind. Thank you, Janice. It's nice to know that. Are you still picking up what I'm putting down, guys? Awesome. Gratitude. Jackie's put gratitude. Zila, gratitude. Gratitude, Anne-Marie. Yeah, you guys are right. The antidote to anger and worry is gratitude. So when you're being angry or when you're in that mode of anger, it's a frequency that's active in your body. And when you find something that you're grateful for, it naturally takes you out of that angry state and dissolves anger almost instantly. So when we know this, we start to foster and create more opportunity for gratitude. We use it as not just an intention, but an action. We start to create more of a positive energy in our life. And it certainly has, it radiates out to all people, you know, not only in our own life with our family, our friends, but also we start to then be one of those people that light up a room when we walk in it. And we just have this way of moving with grace through our life. And not that we don't get angry, because we do, you know, anger is a natural part of life. And Reiki as a system doesn't say, it's not judging anger, it's just saying there's another way. And the way is Reiki. And so that's what the principles of Reiki teach you to embody. So not only that, you understand the core foundations, which give you the how to practice Reiki. It gives you professional and personal growth. So it guides you on your personal growth journey, giving you mindfulness techniques, and also helps you to create ethical living so that you bring more kindness, love, and compassion into your world and into your environment, and teach and support others through that frequency as well. You also, on a personal development, it encourages self-reflection, fosters positivity and emotional balance, and facilitates a more harmonious life. It also helps you to develop kindness and honesty and compassion in the way in which you work, and it helps you to create a more nurturing, healing environment for yourself and for others. And you get a supportive step-by-step framework that allows integration and effectiveness. It teaches that mind-body connection, helps you to let go of stress and negativity, enhances your Reiki sessions, and you also are encouraged to use Reiki for self-healing every single day. Now, here's one of my students that was a little bit nervous about learning Reiki, and she shares with you what her fears were and how Reiki helped her.
I've thought about Reiki for a long time, and I was a little bit resistant because I'm quite empathic. I always had that fear that I would pick up other people's energy. I didn't know enough about Reiki, and I was worried that if I put my hands on people that I'd get caught up with their energy. And it turns out it's not like that at all. In fact, it's a strange modality where you're being re-energized at the same time you're re-energizing, because you're the conduit of life force energy that's working through you. So at the end of it, not only does your client feel great, you feel great too. And you're doing the self-healing at the same time. And it's just wonderful to see somebody who comes in stressed and feeling uptight, the shift of their energy, and to see that you've helped, and all of a sudden they feel great. That's just wonderful. And it's being of service. And she's a wonderful facilitator. She's really giving and really honest and authentic. I find that beautiful, because it's not too textbooky. She draws from her own experiences being kept at Starlight previously, and her experiences with intuition, and I like that combination. She was the only one I found with the combination of using spirit in Reiki. It's turned out that it's been really profound, of it being this weekend and when it's happened in my life.
Beautiful. Trish. Okay, so secret number 4, we have science meets spirituality. So like I said, there's been, I've been doing this for 2 decades. I've seen thousands of students and clients that have received life-changing benefits from Reiki. And a little behind the scenes in regards to how do we quantify this scientifically, or how do we measure it? The problem is we don't have accurate tools to measure energy. We know through quantum physics that everything is energy, and they understand that we are not just these blobs of physical. That there is energy, that we're all made up of energy. They just don't have a tool or a system yet that measures it accurately. So what Lynn McTaggart did, she was a researcher, and she was really curious about the effects of healing, and if she could study it just through some of the biggest worldwide experiments that have been done. And what she discovered, and she writes all about it in a book called The Field, and The Power of 8 is another book. So if you're interested in more of the research behind it, check it out. So she said at our most elemental, we are not a chemical reaction, but an energetic charge. Human beings and all living things are a coalescence of energy in a field of energy connected to every other thing in this world. So in other words, we're all intimately connected to one another. This pulsating energy field is the central engine of our being and our consciousness, the alpha and the omega of our existence. So what exactly does that mean? It means that we have an ability to remotely connect to one another through our shared compassion and our ability to pass on energy to others, and to have it align with a positive intention for someone's healing and well-being, that we're able to affect change. And what she did is she worked in groups of 8. And the experiment was really interesting, is that every week people put in, like, I want to heal a broken foot, or I want to, whether it was a mindset issue they were dealing with, they all shared an intention of what they wanted to see an improvement with in their own body. And then every week they did a short meditation where they sent healing energy and healing intentions to that person and focused on the well-being that they wanted rather than the problem that they had. So they didn't focus on the broken leg, they focused on seeing them actively walking around, with their body moving freely. And what they found when they checked in with all the participants afterwards is that all of their symptoms dissolved purely because they were focused on someone else and focused on that positive well-being, and they were practicing it energetically. There's been lots of research that's been done on the power of thought and how our thoughts help us to manifest changes physically. We look at The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. There's so many amazing scientific members of our community that are changing the way we think about our bodies and basically taking us out of being disconnected and understanding that what we think and feel has a huge impact on us. So we share some of that, especially in the second levels of Reiki. So that's a bit more around the background of, whoops, my slide's not working, the background of the science behind Reiki. So the 5th secret is support and friendship. There is, as you can see in some of these images here, the groups that I've taught, I say to them at the beginning of a class, you guys are all strangers, and by the end of this 2 days, you're going to know each other intimately. That happens whether you're learning online, get to know students. Reiki has a way of bringing people together. It creates, it brings people that are heart-based, that want to make a difference in the community, that are naturally kind people that just want to help others. And so we get to be around those kind of people. And Reiki as an energy system, it just unlocks something, and it creates a way of connecting and bonding on a really vulnerable, beautiful, heart-based way. And again, I can't put my finger on exactly what it is, but it happens in every single room, whether it's online or in room. And with every single class, there's a bonding and a connection. When you know that you're chatting to someone that's learnt Reiki, there's an understanding that there's support there, that unlocks a great benefit in your life.
Many years
here's
ago,
one.
I did Reiki 1 in Switzerland, and then I put it a bit aside because I had no one to talk about, and I felt a bit like a freak, or like, yeah, someone that people wouldn't accept. And when I got here, I thought, you know, it's a change anyway. Everything is new here. The language is new. The place I live is new. So why not give it a go again and try something new? And yeah, and so I did a few weeks ago. I did the Reiki 1 and felt quite good with it. And now I'm here and going on with it. And you know, I have some like-minded people here, and I can talk, and that's something I didn't have back in Switzerland. I felt a bit left alone when I did it the first time. And with this group and with Lisa, you have always that great support. At the beginning, I was quite, how you would say that, probably anxious and a bit afraid. But Lisa has this gift to get you to the point where you can open up, and where you get the feeling of trust, you know, and then you get this feeling of being at the right place, and I guess that helped. With every step you make, you get this deeper connection with yourself and with the mate you're doing the course with. And I guess it brings a bit of trust with as well. And I think that's, for me, the best part. That I get the feeling that I'm on the right path. You know, you have to trust in yourself and your intuition. I guess that's one thing I learned here as well. Now, I would say just do it. I waited far too long.
Such a beautiful human being, and this is, you know, the students that I bring into my world are just gorgeous, beautiful people. This is another one for Michelle. She was my first international student, actually, lives in Florida, and she was amazed at the experience. Even though she was learning online, she physically felt the energy from everyone, and it was very powerful and inspiring. It was incredible to feel such a connection on a deeply personal level with everyone. I live in Florida, so having this amazing energy be received from down under was such a gift and a blessing. All right, so this course gives you deep training in Reiki, and you also learn how to deliver intuitive messages with ease. Here's Renee. Intuitive Reiki is just a perfect pair. Reiki is the most powerful healing tool for yourself and your loved ones and anyone that comes into your life that needs it. She doesn't do it full time as a healer. She's done this as a tool that she can have, and she works in a different industry. So it's not always that people want to or need to become healers. So she's being able to share messages and provide guidance on top of Reiki is just perfection. It helps clients to be able to accelerate their healing journey and help give them a better understanding of what may be occurring. Reiki has allowed me to be a more grounded person, to be a more loving person and have no judgment, to slow down, be more present. My journey has been amazing, and I'm able to spread this love and healing further. It's just life-changing. All in a safe and comfortable environment, no matter what level you're at. If you feel drawn to this, it's the right path for you. So knowing what you know now, can you see yourself becoming a Reiki healer and accessing powerful yet nurturing healing energy? Let me know in the comments after what you've seen so far. Great, thanks, Jackie. Yep. Okay, and let me know if you would like me to virtually hold your hand through the entire process of learning Reiki, practicing with your friends and family. Zeela's got possibly. Okay, there's some doubt there, Zeela. So make sure you hang around and ask me questions. Like to know. So Dione, possibly. So you guys aren't too sure yet. Anne-Marie, definitely interested. Awesome. Okay, so a couple that are sitting on the fence aren't quite sure. So you do have two options today, guys. You've got option one, you wait and tell yourself you'll learn Reiki later. How often in life do we do that? Put ourselves last, put it off because it's just too difficult to make a decision, especially when it's about ourselves. Yet if it was for our kids, how easy do we make choices? You know, we just don't do it for ourselves as often as we need to. Or, and I will say, I've met students that have said, I wanted to learn Reiki for years and years and years and never did it. And then when they did, they're like, oh my God, I wish I'd done it earlier. So your option two is to say yes, and we do it together. Okay, so there's your two options today. Now I'm going to tell you a bit more about the course. So it is the Reiki 1 digital course. It's the only online training of its kind that teaches you how to become an intuitive healer, not just a Reiki healer, an intuitive healer, so that you become expertly trained so you can become an expertly trained Reiki professional if you want to be. It's perfect also for self-development, self-healing, and for helping others, even if you don't work professionally as a healer. It's the only online training of its kind that teaches you how to become an intuitive healer. It includes videos, audio meditations, a comprehensive workbook, PDF guides. I'll show you the workbook now, ongoing support, a nurturing community, and lifetime access to all the training modules. So here's a quick breakdown of what's inside the course. You get getting started, which is the basics on what Reiki is, how to set powerful intentions so that you get the most out of the training. And you can also incorporate that into moving into the world and setting intentions for what is important for you. You understand the Reiki basics. You learn how to do Reiki. You learn how to use Reiki as an energetic tool in order to protect yourself. You understand the basic hand positions and also how to start working with Reiki energetically and intuitively. And you get to experience a live activation session. It's self-paced, meaning you learn how to trust your intuition, help yourself and help others. Like I said, you get lifetime access to all the training and resources, and you learn through a step-by-step process that makes it easy to understand. So let me tell you a little bit about the live attunement ceremony. So for those of you that don't know much about Reiki, Reiki has to be passed down from master to student, and it's done so through a sacred attunement or activation, if you like, to be able to tune into the frequency of Reiki. So I think of it, or I describe it to students as, it's like having a radio station. At the moment, it's picking up just white noise. And through the process, that is a sacred experience. It's like your aura is tuned in to pick up the frequency, like tuning a radio station to pick up 92.9. It then picks up the frequency of the energy, so it comes through the body and you can actively use Reiki. Plus, you also get a live Q&A session once you've done the online course and watched the videos, read the workbook. You then have time to ask me any questions. You can also do this during the training. There's a section where you can post after each video, and all the videos have been cut up into small segments. I've condensed this training so that you only get exactly what you need to know in order to successfully learn and practice Reiki. I've taken all the waffle out. This is a 46-page workbook. I'm going to show you it now, which you get included in the cost of the course. So I'm just going to show you this workbook now. So here it is. This is the workbook. It's got places to write as you're going through the training. This gives you everything you need to know. It's been refined over years based on all the best and most current Reiki information. You also learn you get introduced to the Reiki principles, the history of Reiki. You learn self-healing exercises, how to practice on Reiki with friends and family and also yourself. We do a little bit in the ethics and best practice. We understand that you'll learn the chakra system and the human energy field. And you'll also begin integrating Reiki into your life through a 21-day cleanse process that supports you on slowly making changes on a physical level, an emotional level, and then looking at potentially what it is you want to do and how you want to contribute in a positive way to the world around you. So it starts to bring you into that enlightenment system, creating more happy and joy in your life and getting you more in alignment to what it is that makes you feel, what lights you up, what makes you feel passionate and satisfied and excited. Okay, sorry, there's no sound. That's interesting. Okay, we've got sound back now. Can you hear me? I don't know how I did that. I must have pressed the wrong button. Okay, so back to the sound. The cost is $5.97 and there's a saving of $100, which is the fast action bonus. So you can access the full training, which is comprehensive videos, and luckily you've had the PowerPoint presentation that hopefully, I don't know how long I've had no sound for. Okay, so you can get started today. So if you would like a payment plan, you can go, I'm just going to publish the offer now. You can join by clicking on this link now. And that will give you access to the training, saving you $100. Okay. And there is one more special. There's also two payments of $261. So if you want to go on a payment plan, one today and one in a month's time. So just to recap, you get the Reiki 1 self-paced online certification course, 7 training modules from setting powerful intentions to live Reiki attunement, videos, audios, meditation, workbook and PDF guides, plus all the bonuses. So the fast action bonus, there is also a special gift that I will include if you book today. So you get that $100 off. And my special gift is a copy of my book that has just been published. So this is a teaching memoir that also takes you through some of my beautiful experiences that I've had with, I tell a lot of client stories and some of the ways in which Reiki can inspire change in your life and help you to inspire and shift change in others. So it's a very personal sharing where I share some of, there's been so many stories that that I just would not have experienced had it not have been for Reiki that are put into this book. So I will give you a author signed copy of my book. It'll be posted out to you and you'll get the hard copy sent. So that's included for anyone that books online right now or today. Okay, so just to reiterate again, those prices are a one-off payment of $4.97. I've made it easy by actually putting the discounted price on my landing page just to make it super easy. So it is usually $5.97, but for today only, you get that fast action bonus So if you click on that link, this is what you'll see when you join. If you can see that link in the chat box. And I'm going to come back to any questions that you might have in just a moment. So you basically click on the link. You can choose either the payment plan or the pay in full option. Pop in your details. That's what it looks like. And then your information there, click complete the order. You will automatically be directed to the welcome page, which gives you access to the training platform. This is what it looks like inside the course so that you can have a little bit of a check. It's all done with video training, small segments of videos, about 10 to 15 minutes each. So you can do the training. If you want to watch a couple of videos all at once, you can. If you want to spread them out, you can do that too. And then you also get a 14-day risk-free guarantee. If you don't feel confident and inspired to begin practicing Reiki and accessing the many benefits in doing so after 14 days of your enrollment, simply reach out and show us that you've put in the work and we will refund you. Okay, so just those costs again. You can click on the link in the chat, so you'll see there's the offer has popped up. And now we are at the question Q&A time. So I'm going to come over to the chat. All right, I don't know how long the sound was gone. Sorry about that. Okay, Jackie, I am out, Lisa. Missed pricing and special deals. Okay, Jackie, I will reiterate them just again. I'm just going to go back. Okay, so the offer, I'm just checking that the offer is still there. It is. So, Jackie, fast action bonus is save $100. It's pretty simple. And also get a free copy of, you get a free copy of my best-selling book that has just been published in August, last year, just after my birthday. So it's brand new, available in all bookstores and online. So that will be sent to you a signed copy if you book in as a fast action bonus. Plus you save $100, which is a lot of money. So it's a highly professional course that I've put my heart and soul into giving the best information for you guys so that you can digest it quickly and start practicing Reiki in your own life and also starting to bring healing to those that are in need. All right. Okay, so let's just have a look and see if does anyone have any questions? I'm just going to scroll through and see if there's any questions that I might have missed now. I'm just going to go back to the beginning. Okay, so this is your opportunity. Ask me anything about the course, about the training, about learning online. Right. And let me know if you've enjoyed the session as well. So we've come to the end and it doesn't look like there's any questions. I hope some of my experiences have been relatable and you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for your time today. I'm really grateful that you have spent time, and I hope even if you do decide not to do the training with me, I hope you took away some valuable insights and perhaps a new perspective or way of looking at things. So let me know in the comment. What's the time frame for the course? It really is dependent on you. I've had one student that was sick and couldn't do the course in person, so she did it online and basically started at 9 a.m. and went through till about 6. So she got through all the course, the level 1 course, in a day. I've had others that have taken 3 months to do it. The majority, I would say, I would recommend setting, 2 hours a week, and you could get it done in as little as, a month. So if it was me, I would want to watch the videos and take my time and really digest the information. I'd be filling out my workbook as I go. I'd be utilizing the chat option in each segment. So if I've got questions about the history of Reiki, for instance, I might put a little message to me and I'll respond directly to you. And one of the things that's really important to me is that you feel connected to me as your master. I'm available. This is my full-time job. It has been for the last 2 decades. So you know that I'm not going anywhere. I'm here and here to support you on your journey as best I can. All right. Okay. So if there's Any other questions, let me know. All right. So, and there's also a payment plan. So if the reason for not being able to do it, other than if it's financial, please let me know. There is a payment plan option where you can pay half now and pay half in a month's time, which might make it affordable for you too. All right. And if anyone has any other questions, I'm just checking to see. Let me know if you've booked in as well, so we can celebrate you and look forward to seeing you in the training. And let me know if you've had a Reiki session yourself. I'm curious if I'm just going to put a little poll as well that I'm going to publish now. And yeah, maybe you could pop some answers in the poll too for me. It'll take you a few seconds to do. That would be really great, so I can get some insights as to how I can best serve you. And yeah, I'll just hang around for a few more minutes just in case you've got any other questions. I'm going to change that off for now as well and put the other one. It's the same link. You can jump in. But if you want to do payment plan, I'll pop up that payment plan. You can get started in as simple as 2 easy payments of $261 as well. And remember, that price is going to go up. So that's the webinar special. Fast action bonus. Okay, so the course is normally $597, so that saves you $100. Okay, so let's check in, and I just want to see how we're going with that poll. All right, let's have a look. Okay, and remember the time to do the course. Remember, all you need to do is factor in an hour and schedule time to watch the training. And understand that as you get it, you can start to incorporate the benefits into your life. So you get lifetime access. So if you want to do it, then you'll find the time, and you can do it as little as 1 hour a week. So that takes away, there's no pressure for you to get it done in any set amount of time. You don't have to give up a whole weekend in order to do the training, which is what I love about the online course versus doing training over a full 2 days. That's a lot of time to be able to carve out of your busy lives. And if you're feeling stressed and busy and like you're in overwhelm and don't have enough time, then this is exactly what will give you more access to beautiful, peaceful energy and a way to look at things from a different perspective. All right, so thank you so much for coming along and for sharing, and also for being here and giving time. And if you've got any questions, just reach out. You can send me a DM or a message. Just check that there's no other messages. All right, so let's have a look. Okay, let's see. All right. Alison, you do Reiki quite often. Beautiful. All right, thank you guys. Appreciate your time, and we'll see you next time.